welcome to the big show alongside my tag team partner, Dan Patrick. I'm Keith Olbermann.
Coming up on SportsCenter, the Seahawks' Chris Warren suits up with 2 broken ribs following a car crash that paralyzes a teammate. We will also bring you the first dunk in women's hoops in a decade. And our Sunday conversation is with Dan Marino. But first, we go forward with a pair of backups.
Didn't start that way, as if John Elway's traditional Houdini act against Marty Schottenheimer and Marty's employers were not reason enough for us to expect the Broncos to lay the Chiefs low at Arrowhead. Schottenheimer was also without his magic quarterback. Steve Bono was starring in this reworking of the Daniel Day-Lewis flick, His Left Foot. Last time I used that joke, Joe knows, so it's Bono at the start. In the first, Chiefs down 7-zip. Bono to Eric Martin. Watch the spin move on number 39, Ray Crockett, who is an ex-Lion, and now you know why. Joe says touchdown. It was not a touchdown. They got him finally, and it would only be a field goal. Late in the half, 4th and goal from the 1, Reggie Rivers is stopped, and Kansas City with the goal line stand, trailing 7-3 at the break. On to the third quarter, Broncos at the 25, John Elway. Right side, Shannon Sharp breaks a couple of tackles. A bad day for tackling in the NFL, 14-9 Denver. They led 17-9 in the 4th. When Bono airs it out, perfect strike to Willie Davis. Is that sweet? And they're not going to get him. So now, down by 2. Bono says, let's do it again. The 2-point conversion, again to Willie Davis in the back of the end zone. And we're going to Hugh Millen to get the call. Because Lynn Elliott, if the Dallas fans remember that was a block. So now we'll go to overtime. Hugh Millen comes in because Elway twisted his knee. It might be bad. In overtime, 3rd and 17, instant backup Elway. Oh, the Hugh Millen-iation. 20 yards, setting up Jason Elam from 34 from way downtown. Bang. Broncos win 20-17. So the Broncos, who were as dead as Jacob Marley's ghost 2 months ago, now have the identical record as the Chiefs at 7-6. They have the tiebreak on KC and are 2 games behind the team that would be the AFC wildcard right now, the Browns. However, Wade Phillips says Elway may have injured knee cartilage. No idea yet on time out. Not good. Everything else, Wade said, was good.
Like I say, we've been hurt all season. We've fought back all year, and it was just another example of that. I feel like I played. I didn't.
The team just hung together. Defense and the special teams made some big plays, and you know, we made just enough plays to win a game.
We lost John, and we know he wasn't going to come back, so we just told Hugh. And on that final drive, I told Hugh, I said, Hugh, I don't care who's open. Throw me the ball every play.
Man, everybody's talking fast in this game. What's going on? So here are the numbers in black and white. Since they lost Game 6 to the Chiefs, no less, the opposition's pass completion number against Denver has dropped from 60 to 49%, and that might explain it. Dan?
The NFL schedule maker cannot be a Packer fan. In weeks 12 and 13, Green Bay was forced to play the Bills and Cowboys on the road within 5 days of each other. Green Bay had 9 days, though, to get packed for this weekend's road trip to Detroit. These two met in Week 10, with the Pack winning 38-30. To the Silverdome we go, and Mike Holmgren looking off his cheat sheet saying, how about Anthony Morgan? We don't go to him that often. 26 yards later, it's 7-0 Green Bay. Packers go up 14-3. Wayne looking discouraged. Don't worry, because Dave Craig has been en fuego. Throws it up for Herman Moore, the 6'4" former high jumper out of the University of Virginia. Out jumps the 6'1" Doug Evans. Barry Sanders goes left, cuts back right, and it's 17-14 Lion lead. Short-lived, though. Favre once again beats the blitz. This time goes to Sterling Sharp. 100 consecutive games with at least 1 catch. A wild first half, though. Detroit to the 1. Scott Conover, tackle eligible. Third quarter, Green Bay ties it up with a field goal. Then it's Favre beating the blitz again, hooking up with Morgan again. First 2 TD game of his career. The Pack led at 31-24. It's Barry time. Fourth quarter. In his career, he has now gained over 1,000 yards against the Packers. 63 yards on this one. 188 yards on the day. After the game, Favre would say, I haven't found religion, but watching him, it's special. He's one of a kind. Do they give it to Sanders down at the 1? No. Derek Moore, Detroit hangs on to win it. 34-31 in one of the better games of the afternoon. Sanders stands 406 yards away from becoming the 3rd player in NFL history to reach 2,000. Detroit moves 1 game ahead of Green Bay in the division. Heading into Week 9, the Packers were the NFL's top-rated defense. Since then, Green Bay has packed it in, surrendering an average of 29 points per game, with most of the damage coming via the airways. Next week, the Packers will host Steve Walsh and the Bears.
Let's travel through Alice's looking glass and get into the heads of many loyal Eagle fans who on Sunday were A, secretly or maybe not so secretly, rooting for the Cowboys in hopes that B, the Pokes would clinch the division against them, and C, humiliate the Eagles so that D, Rich Kotite would get fired, and E, owner Jeff Lurie would hire Jimmy Johnson as coach. Insert flap F into Coach G. Well, they didn't get the new coach for Christmas. They got a new opposing quarterback, Rodney Peete, to Michael Irvin. 20 yards, 7-0 Cowboys. Then Peete and Irvin again. Not only a great catch, but he takes it away from number 36 in green, Michael Zordich. Sorry about that, Mike. And that will set up an Emmitt Smith touchdown. The Eagles don't come back. Randall Cunningham, having scrambled right, finds Fred Barnett, 25-yard touchdown at 21-13. In the fourth quarter, it's 24-19. Randall's last chance, but Darren Woodson steps in front of it, and they're not gonna get him. 31-19. Cowboys clinch it, 94 yards for Woodson. So 3 straight NFC East titles. Whoops. For the Pokesters, at least it was color coordinated. 14 straight wins intra-division, 6 straight against the Eagles, 2 straight without Troy Aikman. Eagles go from 7-2 to 7-6, and even Mr. Cunningham can't put a smiley face on this one.
We all came out, and I think offensively and defensively, we played well together. And you guys can put it all on me. I basically threw an interception when we should have taken it and scored and at least got a field goal out of it. So don't blame my teammates. Put it all on me.
You have to take something positive out of it. And we were in that game right till about 6 minutes to go, I guess. And it's just a shame the way it was taken out of our hands with the interception and the touchdown.
Usually it's the Eagles using different QBs, 5 different in their last 9 games against Dallas. Now we're talking about the Cowboys with a sub 2 weeks in a row. Interestingly, they are now 8-2 under the backup since 1990. Pete Garrett, Bertie Kosar, Steve Berline, and the immortal Babe Loffenberg. Niners now knew that they'd need the win to keep the tiebreaker ahead of Dallas. Dion and Andre, no slap fight. They say they've resolved their scuffle from October. Oh, thank goodness for that. And they didn't have very much to do in this game. Rison didn't catch a pass till the third quarter. Niners kept catching him early and often. John Taylor, extraordinary, 10-7 Niners. And then Young, right over the white line, 17-7. And then Young, Ricky Waters, hello defense, 27-14 at halftime. June Jones the third, saying I may be June Jones the last if this keeps up. Third quarter, it's Young again from 7 yards out, a little fake step. 34-14 Niners. And then finally a little exclamation point to Jerry Rice. Your final, the 49ers outdo their name by 1, 50-14, giving the Falcons the bird, the wet bird. Shockingly, Young threw 11 incompletes and an intercept, his first in 123 passes. However, the 50 points should not be viewed shockingly. This is the 4th year in a row the Niners have done this. They did it, in fact, in Atlanta, or to Atlanta, in '92. Dan?
What do Joe Theismann, Ricky Sanders, Kerry Conklin, and Boomer Esiason have in common? They are 4 of the 11 players who have completed passes to Art Monk during his 177-game streak. Another pass from Esiason on Sunday would tie Monk with Steve Largent's all-time record. The Patriots tried to do what hasn't been done in 12 years, keep the work of Art without a grab. Former Patriots owner Victor Kiam on hand. He liked the trampoline so much he bought it. Monk had already tied Largent earlier in the game. Second quarter, Boomer says, let's go for Patriots. 7-3 Jets. Third quarter, the Jets go up 13-10. Pat O'Neill fakes a field goal. He punts Todd Rucci down at the 1. We'll just call it the Rucci. It would be critical because 3 plays later, Ricky Reynolds steps in front of the Boomer offering, and it's 17-13 Pats. Pete Carroll's team won only 8 of their last 31 games in December. Leroy Thompson capping a 80-yard day with 20 carries. 24-13 the final in this one. The first game this year, the Patriots have had more running plays than passing plays. That sounds more like a Bill Parcells team. Reynolds' score was the first by the Pats D this season. New England has won 4 in a row as they look for their first playoff berth in 8 years. We'll take a closer look at how the Pats are winning the Parcells way a little bit later on. Christmas does not come early once again for the Jets, Jets. Since 1990, nobody has had fewer wins than the Jets in December, and only the Rams and Browns have more losses in this month. Despite suffering a pair of broken ribs during Thursday's car crash, Chris Warren suited up for the Colts, did not start, but did have a little bit of an impact in this one. Marshall Faulk did too. 129 yards on the day, went over 1,000 yards. Ray Buchanan picking off Rick Meyer on this play. Meyer insult to injury. It's 10-7 Seahawks But after this play, it's 14-10 Colts. Jason Belser levels Meyer. 37-yard TD return. Meyer fractures his left thumb on the play. Did not return. Buchanan, fourth straight game with an INT. I think that ties the Colts record set back in 1971, if I'm not mistaken. Charlie Stukes, I think. Curtis Dickey, 11 rushing touchdowns in his rookie year in 1980. Marshall Faulk ties that record today. Chris Warren ended with 81 yards. Following the game, he refused to answer questions about the car accident that left teammate Mike Fryer paralyzed.
I'm not answering those questions about Mike. Once I stepped on the field, I was 100% mentally because, you know, it's a totally different world on the field and when you're not on the field. So when I come on the field, I prepare myself in a way, you know, it's business, it's my job, and I have to do it. So that's the way I approached it.
Obviously, it did affect our team. Anytime something like that happens, it does, and everything that surrounded it, but we had to get through it.
Warren won't talk about the accident because he's been named by police as the driver of the car. He has denied that. Doctors reported Sunday night that Mike Fryer has developed pneumonia because of his paralysis. Keith?
Coming up on the big show, the Bills and Fish join us for the biggest Sunday night game in a while, and we'll have our biggest commentator bringing you all them highlights. Also still ahead of us tonight, the Sunday Conversation with Dan Marino. He'll star late in the show just as he sort of ordinarily stars in most games, maybe not this one. Elsewhere, Buddy Ball goes back to its old home, or one of its many old homes, Arizona and Houston. Hello. Highlights coming up. Who came up in the bowl poll? Well, maybe those guys. How Saturday's action changed the top 10. And then we'll learn about the nightmare of Stanley Wilson, the former Bengals star now just struggling to regain control of his life.
I feel like I've been doing time up until the point that I became born again, because the cocaine told me where to go, what to do, how to do it, when to wake up, when to go to sleep.
And if it was a Sunday night in the NBA, then we must have been donning our blazers. A fantastic finish at everything else ahead on the big show.
Television of the future? I've got it now. DirecTV. It's movies, hit movies, tons of movies. It's like browsing in a video store right in your living room and always finding what you want. Ooh. The hit movies I want start every 30 minutes. Now, for just $2.99 each, the movies come to me. All digital, so I can get a great picture with CD sound. That never happened before. For more movies, sports, and cable networks, get your DSS 18-inch dish and DirecTV at your RCA dealer.
This is Bruce Smith's shoe, man. Wait a minute. This is Rod Woodson's shoe. I have visions of Rod Woodson. I see him lurking like a shadow. I sense he's somewhere lurking. I hear his heartbeat. Ba-boom. 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 Rod?
Hurry into McDonald's Holiday Film Fest today and take home 2 great videos. The baseball classic, Field of Dreams.
If you build it, he will come.
And get the time travel adventure, Back to the Future.
This is it.
Each video is just $5.99 when you buy any extra value meal or large sandwich. So dash into McDonald's Holiday Film Fest now and get these family favorites for the favorites in your family.
McDonald's today.
Well, you never know who's going to show up late on Sunday night, do you? The end of Western civilization, it was possible it could happen in Miami, or at least the end of the AFC as we know it in the 90s. The biggest game in the 8 years of ESPN Sunday Night Football was Sunday night. The Buffalo Bills fighting for their playoff lives at 6-6 at 8-4 Miami, who would like to do themselves and the rest of the conference a big favor. Bills, though, playing at their home away from home. Joe Robbie Stadium, where amazingly, lifetime 7-1 on Miami turf. Second quarter, the Bills lead 7-0, but Dan Marino can sense it. Let's get rid of these guys once and for all. To Irving Fryer, 3 yards, 17-7 at the half, Miami. But with their backs to the wall, watch this, doink, doink, beep, Kelly. Don Beebe, 72 yards, the ball bouncing Buffalo's way at 17-14 Miami. Now, you think you've seen it all with the bounces? Pay attention. Marino, Good defense by Mickey Washington. Boom! Matt Darby, the dinosaur, makes the interception. That sets up Kelly Reed, 21 yards, 21-17, the Bills. Then, end around. Andre Reed dribbling it like a basketball player. His first pass he's ever thrown in the NFL. Billy Brooks, open, 32 yards, sets up a Gardner 1-yard TD. Another touchdown makes it 35-23, and then the proverbial icing on the cake. All-out blitz, Kelly Reed, see ya! His longest touchdown pass since the 80s, 83 yards, 42-31. The Buffalo Bills with a 35-point second half for Marv Levy and Brian Cox. Well, he's seen it before. Who wants to beat Buffalo more than Cox and Marino? But again, it's the Bills in a big game in Miami, and they win it 42-31 to up their mark to 7-6, just one game back now of Miami in the AFC East, despite 311 yards passing for Marino. Kelly had 299, and so the Bills, you just can't get rid of them. Let's go down to the field and join our Mark Malone. Mark?
Jim, the first question I have to ask you, you come out in the second half, you scored 35 points. In fact, the only time you didn't score is when you knelt on the ground. What was said in the locker room at halftime?
Well, not much, except everybody has to take care of their own responsibilities. And I think that, you know, when you get out there as an offensive unit, you can't make mistakes. You can't have turnovers. And one thing I said to myself, I'm going to go out there and take what they give me. I'm not going to try to make the big play when when it's not there. So I think the main thing is everybody took care of their business, and we're able to come out with a big win. Big win.
A lot was made about a conversation you had with Andre Reed a few weeks back on Monday night. You didn't get him the football much in the first half, but you came out and you saw him a lot in the second half. Were you guys able to get together at halftime and figure something out?
No, we just stayed with our same game plan. I know that when Andre's one-on-one, I know he's a top receiver. He's one of the best in the league. And when you get a guy like that one-on-one, he's going to come up with a big play. And the key to the whole game was time to throw the football, because when you get guys up front and give me the time, you get a guy like Andre Reed and Don Beebe can get open. You never know what's going to happen.
You talked a lot about your offensive line, the injuries. You said they were all tough guys. They came through. You had to throw the football. You had time to do that.
Yeah, we had two guys that stepped in, Jerry Ostrowski and Mike Devlin, that came in and played big. I mean, this is the first game they've ever really played this much, and my hat goes off to them. They got 2 game balls to the youngsters, and I'm glad that we got some continuity in the front line. Hopefully it'll carry on next week.
Now, the pattern has been that you guys win the must-win games, the big games, and then you have a letdown. You got Minnesota next week. How do you worry about staying up? How do you do that?
We don't have to worry about that. I mean, we knew starting today that the playoffs was here at Joe Robbie Stadium, and we knew that if we have any chance of going to the playoffs, we have to win our remaining 4. We knew it wasn't going to be an easy task, but we came down, everybody stayed focused, and we made the big plays when we had to.
All right, Jim, congratulations on the win. Jim Kelly, 4 touchdowns today, 299 yards. Boomer, this is your guy. We'll send it back to you.
All right, guys, thank you very much. The Buffalo Bills are the Rasputins of the NFL. You can't kill them. You can poison their food. You can put sugar in their gas tanks. You can short-sheet their beds. Shame on ye of little faith. Next Sunday, Jim Everett and the Saints in their Southern rivalry against the Atlanta Falcons. That's next Sunday, 8 Eastern time from the Georgia Dome. Prime Monday, the Chargers can win the AFC West if they beat the Raiders Monday night. Could be party time at the Murph. Might have to go myself and check it out. That's 7:30 Eastern time. Join Mike and the gang. NFL Game Day, a Saturday half-hour game day, 11:30 a.m. A special start time this Sunday at 11:45 a.m. So all sorts of things happening football here on ESPN. But we're out of breath for this week. We've got more on El Grande Show. Let's kick it back to Dan.
Thank you, Chris. Good night. The once competitive conference battle between the Bengals and Steelers has turned into a one-sided war lately. On Sunday, Pittsburgh looked for their 4th consecutive seasonal sweep of Cincinnati. But after all, these are the new and improved Bengals, led by the AFC's top-rated passer in Jeff Blake. A Steeler win would clinch a playoff berth. To Riverfront we go, and there's Blake. We're tied at 7 in the second. He's looking for Darnay Scott. The ball is tipped by Deion Figures. Greg Lloyd brings in the interception. The next play, Maryland meets Liberty. Neil O'Donnell to Eric Green. The Steelers go up 14-7. Late in the third, it's O'Donnell. He didn't have Barry Foster in the backfield, but he did have Bam Morris. The rookie takes it in from 8 yards out. Steelers go up 21-7. Fourth quarter, it's defense, and it's Rod Woodson. Blake is picked off by Woodson. He's not satisfied with just that. He takes it back 31-7. Next Bengals possession, it's Woodson right in Blake's face. The Steelers had 5 sacks on the day, and they win it in a game a lot of people thought the Bengals may pull out a surprise. 38-15, Pittsburgh has won 5 straight to improve their record to 10-3. The Steelers have also defeated the Bengals 8 straight times. Cincinnati held the ball for just 20 minutes. To Cleveland, the Browns hosted the Giants. Giants up 7-6. David Treadwell trying to add to the lead. He has missed 5 of his last 8 field goal attempts. So the Browns are only down 13-6 under 6 minutes in this game, and Vinny starts to crank it up, and he looks for Derek Alexander. Alexander takes it down to the 5-yard line on the very next play. Good Lord, it's Leroy Horde. And we're tied at 13. 23 seconds to go in the game. Do they go to Treadwell? No, they go to Brad DeLuiso. Replaces Treadwell, kicks the 33-yarder, and that is your ball game. Ooh, the tabloids are going to have a field day with that controversy in New York. 16-13 the final. The loss knocked the Browns out of first place in the Central. Cleveland's next 2 games are against NFC East leader Dallas, AFC Central Division leader Pittsburgh.
A source close to Southern California's Save the Rams committee tells ESPN that at least some members of that group expect the team to announce a move to St. Louis within 10 days. Orange County bonds, the basis of the Anaheim attempt to keep the team, have taken a financial beating in the last week, and that may have helped seal the St. Louis deal. ESPN's Game Day reported Sunday that the St. Louis announcement might come as early as during the day Monday, though probably not that rapidly. Well, coming up, one of the ancient rivals and how one of them jumped above 500, the other fell below it, the NYETS Nets versus Parcells Patriots. More on that when we continue. Also ahead, what happened to Bama? First Florida took its toll, and now come the pollsters to do the same. Also, who's got the Bucks in the $1 million golf scramble? And from those symbolic Bucks to the real ones, Milwaukee's Bucks and the Blazers. Highlights when the big show drives home after this.
Got sports fans on your gift list? Give them the Babe, the Splendid Splinter, the Say Hey Kid. Give them all of baseball's greatest players, all of baseball's greatest moments. Give them baseball. Ken Burns' critically acclaimed film and the TV event of the year, now on video in this exclusive edition, yours only by calling this number. The Boston Globe called baseball a wonderful epic. Entertainment Weekly called it tremendously moving. This deluxe classic edition includes inning notes and an heirloom quality display box, all for 4 easy installments of only $37. Call now, and the hardbound 512-page companion book, a $60 value, is yours free. So give them the Big Train. And Mr. October, give them the masterpiece that's already an American film classic, Ken Burns' Baseball. Call now.
Call 1-800-607-3636 right now to give baseball and the companion book yours free. Call now.
70,000 entered, but only one became a living legend. Michael Joyce won ESPN's Football Legend Sweepstakes. $10,000.
Thanks, ESPN.
4 ESPN Sunday night NFL games.
Prime time. Chris Berman.
Tickets to the legendary Super Bowl. And Savan Clothing. ESPN, where legends are made. This sweepstakes is sponsored by Savan. No wrinkle cotton clothing.
The last year the Patriots qualified for the playoffs, their head coach was Raymond Berry. Their leading rusher was current ESPN employee Craig James, and their quarterback was Tony Eason. Now, 8 years later, Bill Parcells and Drew Bledsoe have New England tapping lightly on that postseason door. Pam Oliver was on hand for the Pats' 4th consecutive win.
Under Bill Parcells, it's almost a given. A team he coaches somehow manages to find momentum come December. Luck, it's not. A belief system better describes it.
It feels real good. I mean, it feels great. You know, the team has a lot of confidence now, and it really feels good to win some football games, and we're having a lot of fun.
For the first time since 1988, the Pats entered December with 6 or more wins. Last season, this team went 3-1 in the final month of the year. There is a pattern here, but Parcells refuses to permit his players the luxury of mistaking a role with a clear path to the playoffs.
We're still alive, and we're going forward, and
hopefully we can continue to make some progress. Again, I'm not under any illusions.
The Pats' win was almost according to his script. Mistakes had to be limited. Defensively, the run had to be shut down. Offensively, the balance tipped to the running side. And big plays had to be made. An interception return for a score will do nicely.
Just really mostly for the kids, because it's, it's been a long time around here since they've had that smile on their face like this, and that they're in this thing. So no, I know this puts us in the race for at least a couple of more weeks, no matter what happens.
Despite his somewhat obvious pride, Parcells won't let go, pounding home one very fundamental fact, and that's a couple of wins, though in this case 4 straight, do not make you a playoff contender. But they do go a long way for the moment if you happen to be a member of the AFC East. From Foxborough Stadium, I'm Pam Oliver, ESPN.
All right, Pam, there's no secret to the Patriots' winning formula. They've cut down on turnovers, points allowed, and rushing yards allowed. The last time the Jets faced New England, they ran for 172 yards. This time around, they could total just 64.
Coming up on the big show, did you know that they had free hair day at the Astrodome? Did you know it was plenty for the defense in the Astrodome again? But the question for his Cardinals, did he do a thing with their offense? Those highlights ahead.
What is thy bidding, my master?
There is a great disturbance in the Force. Get his battery.
If you only knew the power of the dark side.
Still going. Long-lasting Energizer batteries keep going and going.
Strap your helmets on. This is primetime NCAA football from the new Mindscape. 40 college teams, colors, and logos. Year-long stats, land and snow, treacherous rain. 72-play bone crunches, playoff action. It's the hot new sports game from the new Mindscape. NCAA football. Get in the gear.
Cordo Negro brewed by Freshenet. There's a party in every bottle.
Because they're helping to build dreams. Because of their spirit of teamwork. The men and women of Home Depot share in the spirit of the Olympics. And to help build better homes, we're proud to have Charbroil as a member of our Home Depot Olympic family. Since 1948, Charbroil has set the standard for American-made outdoor cooking products. They give you their best, just like the U.S. Olympic team, and just like the people at Home Depot.
In your very lovely and talented bowl poll, Nebraska's still a slim leader over at Penn State with the Hurricanes and the Buffaloes moving up a spot each to 3rd and 4th by attrition. And Florida coming up to 5th. There's the damage that Alabama did to itself from 3rd to 6th. FSU, Texas A&M, Auburn, K-State just where they were. Oregon and Colorado State switched spots. And from 13th ranked Ohio State on down, the rest of the rankings are the same as last week. Read, enjoy, and listen to the music.
Sun City, South Africa for the $1 Million Challenge. Nick Faldo trying to go wire to wire from 8 feet away, and nothing but the bottom of the cup. Went to 15 under, 2 shots ahead of Ernie Els. Ernest Els' second shot, par 4 15th. After his tee shot went into the rough, he catches a little bit of bark. And as an even more difficult third shot, double bogey the 15th, took him out of the chase. Nick Faldo, yes, 16 under. That's the way he would finish. The band on hand to cheer him on. After picking up the winner's check, Faldo said he always wanted to say, Sun City, thanks a million. You clever man, you. 16 under par is a new tourney record. Sevi shot a final round 66, but finished 9 shots back. Vijay Singh finished 35 shots back and still brought home $100,000.
Nothing had happened like it in sports since perhaps 1905 when pitching ace Rube Waddell of the Athletics missed the World Series after supposedly wrestling with a teammate on the train going to Game 1. Stanley Wilson, the 3rd member of the Bengals trio of rushers, disappeared the morning of his team's appearance in Super Bowl 23. The Bengals would lose the game to the Niners 20-16. Stanley Wilson would lose his career in a shroud of drugs. From the Los Angeles halfway house, Jim Rome tells us what became of Stanley the Steamer.
Back to throw Montana. Steps up, throws. Touchdown 49ers!
Stanley Wilson was that wide striding, quick darting, left and right kind of a runner that would have been perfect for that day.
A 10-yard pass. The 49ers have scored.
If he plays, I think we win. You know, I feel that in my heart.
But he didn't play. On the night before the game, at the team's hotel outside Miami, Stanley Wilson gave in to his cocaine addiction.
Everything that I wanted to be since I was 5 years old, and that was to play football in the National Football League, and also to play in the Super Bowl. And all of a sudden, I'm in a room, you know, with a bag of cocaine, and I'm snorting this cocaine, and I'm smoking this cocaine, and everything that I ever wanted. You know, I have my family's over at another hotel waiting to see me play the next day. My son is also there. I have aunts and cousins over there waiting for me to play. And all of a sudden, I'm stuck in the bathroom, not being able to move, not being able to even talk. And my coach comes in and he sees me sitting there, you know, in a cocaine stupor.
We got security, and security opened the door and looked in the bathroom, and the shower curtain was pulled on the tub, and there he was in the tub.
All he can say is, you know, Steamer, what have you done? And I was just lost for words. You know, the drug had taken me down so low, so far, and all I can do was just shake my head. And I started to quiver and shake, and I didn't want anyone to see me.
Stanley was driven 40 miles back to the team's headquarters in downtown Miami. Once there, the Bengal coaches put him in a room while deciding what to do.
I didn't want to live. I didn't want to do anything. I just knew that I had to get out of there. They had security everywhere in that place, but I was so devastated that I just took off down the fire escape and just started walking the streets of Biscayne Boulevard. And, you know, it was a very lonely experience, very lonely, very empty, very black. And I felt so insecure about being a human being, let alone a football player. And I never could shake that.
For the next 2 days, while family and friends worried, Stanley Wilson was nowhere to be found.
I thought there was a good chance he was dead. I think football meant that much to him, that he might get into a state of depression, especially when he came down from the buzz, that he would just do something stupid.
I found myself in a crack house, guns and Uzis everywhere, and you know, when you are in a cocaine stupor like that, you have no consciousness of reality or nothing, and I'm taking out thousands and thousands of dollars, and I'm surprised that no one took a gun and shot me and robbed me. You know, I ended up walking the streets too and getting a motel room and sitting there, and some guy, I ended up meeting some guy and getting high with him, and I had got so high and so scared and so paranoid that I couldn't leave the room, that I had him go buy me the cocaine and giving him thousands of dollars, not knowing if he was going to come back. You know, and I was so devastated that I never watched the Super Bowl.
Stanley, when you came out of the stupor and you came to and realized what had happened, what was your first thought then?
I couldn't scream, I couldn't yell, I felt paralyzed. I felt trapped and incarcerated then. I feel like I've been doing time up until the point that I became born again, because the cocaine told me where to go, what to do, how to do it, when to wake up, when to go to sleep.
How hard has it been for you to accept that you decided to get high instead of playing the biggest football game of your life?
It's easy to accept it, that it happened. You know, it doesn't stop the fact that it hurts. It doesn't stop the fact that a lot of people in my life was hurt by it.
I still remember guys putting their hands in their head, and a couple of guys taking their playbooks and slamming them on the floor, and then guys looking around at each other and welling up. I know when I went back to the room that night, I cried out loud. I just couldn't believe that it had happened. I know after the phone call with his mom and dad that I cried.
Do you think, Stanley, you cost the Bengals the Super Bowl?
I believe that if I would have played in the Super Bowl, we'd have won.
Have you seen that Super Bowl even today?
No, I haven't seen the Super Bowl to this day. Eventually, I'm going to watch the Super Bowl. I heard it was one of the greatest Super Bowls of all time. And that made it painful also. But at the same time, I'm still alive.
The question remains, what was Stanley Wilson doing with drugs the night before the Super Bowl, and where did he get them? In 1990, Stanley sold his account of what happened that night for $200,000 to Penthouse magazine. In the article, Stanley mentioned the names of his teammates who were involved. All those players mentioned him denied using drugs that night. As for Wilson, his life continued to fall apart. He was banned from the NFL, and his obsession for the drug finally landed him in prison, serving 3 years for burglary. When they took you to the cell and they closed the door, and then the realization hit you, this is what I have to pay now. This is what I have to do. I mean, how did that feel? What was that like?
It was very cold, I felt callous, real numb. It was a very eerie feeling, very empty. And that's when I found out who I was. See, I didn't have the bank account, the fancy car, the nice home anymore. I was in the cell, and that's all I have now.
Today, Stanley lives in a halfway house in Los Angeles, serving the last few months of his sentence. He spends most of his time thinking about his family, his parents Henry and Beverly, who stood by him from beginning to end. But mostly, he thinks about his son Stanley Jr. and a possible return to the NFL.
Well, with football, I want it to be more like such of a stepping stone. I still want to prove a point to myself. Also, I have a son, and the thing that I also want to prove to him is no matter what happened to his father in his life, that he never gave up.
Stanley Wilson believes he is on his way to recovery. He says he hasn't touched drugs in over 3 years. But the question still remains, should he get another shot at the NFL? Should he be trusted again?
Stanley is one of those guys that he could look you right in the face and give you that bright smile and lie to you.
Now he's out, he's clean, he's done his debt to society, and if in fact he can stay that way and prove to everybody else by himself that he can, why shouldn't he be given another chance?
As far as coming back and participating, you had that chance, and it got away from you. I think I'd stand by that. As much as I love Stanley, and I'd love to see him have a wish come true, and I know that's his wish, I think that might be the wrong thing to do in the big picture.
A lot of times, people in society looks at someone who goes to prison or someone who does drugs as a bad person. They don't see it as the person did a bad thing. And I just want to emphasize that I know that Stanley Wilson is a good person. I know that I'm a blessed person, and I know that what I did was bad, and I did it a few times. I did a bad thing, but I'm not a bad person.
Would he have made a difference in that Super Bowl? The Niners only outrushed the Bengals by 6 yards as it was. Ickey Woods and James Brooks both played well. That's guesswork. What happened to Wilson's life, sadly, is hard fact.
And you have to wonder how much of a shelf life Stanley Wilson still has as far as the NFL goes. When the 1995 season rolls around, Stanley Wilson will be 34 years old.
All right, coming up on this edition of SportsCenter, the plays of the week with a little sleight of hand, legerdemain, and prestidigitation, or if you prefer, just the Magic edition. Also ahead, Miami's Magic Man joins us for the Sunday conversation, Dan Marino. Hello. And time to back up the truck in Anaheim. Rams host the Saints in the battle of the NFC West's unwashed and unloved. Stay with us.
I'm sorry, okay? How do you lose playoff tickets? It happens. No, losing your keys happens. Losing 15th row playoff tickets does not happen. Get in.
The Isuzu Trooper was designed around a very simple premise.
Where are we going? Somewhere they won't find your body.
Life's an adventure. Be prepared.
Whoa! Okay, give me the binoculars.
Binoculars. They're on the hall table next to the tickets. Isuzu, practically amazing.
It's scary how clear it is. It's only a movie, except on a Sony big screen TV.
Oh, good. Something romantic.
Without a doubt, the most intelligent, enlightening motion picture experience of a lifetime. G'day, mate. I laughed till I stopped. A movie filled with actors, scenery, and talking. See it with someone who knows how to get to the theater.
Dance to the beat of a different drummer boy.
Provocative, compelling, and other big words.
I got worms.
Movies come and go, but this one's here right now. Dumb and Dumber. Rated PG-13. Starts Friday, December 16th.
Unlimited sports news is finally available. Bob knows.
Morning, Bob. Your email is right on. The hoop season is red hot.
With ESPN Net on Prodigy, Bob talks to the SportsCenter pros every day.
Hey, Bob. For answers to your NFL questions, check out the inside info on coaching changes.
What you want, when you want. Call 1-800-ESPN-PRO. Get ESPN Net on Prodigy.
Hey, how about some Super Bowl tickets?
Well, magic is the theme for this edition of the Plays of the Week. So among those you won't be seeing, Merlin Olsen, the Bears' Alonzo Spellman, and pitcher Dick Conger of the 1943 Phillies.
You won't be seeing former Michigan basketball player John Townsend, who was known as the Houdini of the hardwood. And, of course, you won't be seeing the Colts magic man, Don Bukowski. The hand is quicker than the eye on the Plays of the Week. No, Keith. Sword fighting will not be a part of the new act. Keith, my magic act is going nowhere. The audience just sits there with that same awful look on their face.
Well, Dan, what you need to get is a flair for the dramatic.
It's up, they got it again! They got it again! Gosh almighty, Joe Friday!
Maybe I could use a little more sleight of hand in my show.
Yeah, but don't even think of using that tired hand buzzer gag.
You know what's working these days? Optical illusions.
I believe Marino is saying I'm going to spike it.
Now you've got it. People won't believe their eyes.
The Jets are dumbfounded. That was unbelievable. I love it.
Maybe I could hypnotize somebody, really bend them out of shape. Let's see. You will hit this ball further than you have in your life. Keith, help!
The great Dantini, huh? You have to knock someone out first to do that. Then you can make a guy think he's diving into a glass of water. Or you can make somebody believe they can run through walls.
But how, Keith? How do you control the forces of nature?
Oh, it's close. It's in.
Dan, it even took the Masters a while to pull off miracles. You know, people can show amazing control while under a spell.
Okay. I think I can get on top of this. I'll start with kids.
See, that got them dancing in the aisles. Go ahead, try some more.
Well, I'd like to try something with the help of a member of the audience. Of course, just as long as it makes me look good in the end.
Don't worry about audience rejection, and you will do fine. I mean, I'm sure everyone will be in disbelief when you're finished.
Yes, I can see it now. Opening night.
Got a crazy. Oh, no! Oh, no! Oh, my God! Oh, my gosh, no! Come on, no! I'm sick. I want to throw up.
Plays of the Week is brought to you by Isuzu. Like Isuzu, Plays of the Week is practically amazing.
Still on the way, back to the NFL as the Oilers' Chris Dishman asked, who's your buddy? Tampa wasn't going to let anybody or anything stand in the way of a two-game winning streak, and she plays for the same college Michael did, wears the same number, Air Smith, when the big show returns.
The man, John Madden. Need I say more? Okay, I will. Football. He studies it, analyzes it, puts it in his game. Tough, real tough, full rosters. The all-Madden team. Need I say more? Okay, I will. Stats season long. In his head, in his voice, in his game. What do you want? Real players? You got it. High stats? You got it. Windowless passing? You got it. Madden, he's the man. You think John's got a big head about all this? Give me a break. The guy rides a bus to work. Madden NFL 95. The game. EA Sports. It's in the game.
When I get thirsty, I reach for Coke and I drink. I get thirsty, I reach for Coke and I drink. When I'm thirsty, Coca-Cola. Oh, hey,
Here's a chip that's got more originals. New Pringles.
Pringles Ridges, it's more crunch, yeah. If crunch is what you can't resist, Pop Pringles Ridges, more crunch than this. Crunch, yeah. Golden tasty crunch is this, not this bag chips greasy mess. Crunch, crunch, Pop the Pringles Ridges, it's more crunches.
More crunches.
Once you pop Ridges, you can't stop.
How much longer can he last on that battery?
Hey, Larry, sometime today?
Larry Doty for the birdie.
Hooked it. Okay, I'll get him down. The copper top. Tops them all.
Here's a great gift idea for Christmas. The new Black & Decker cordless screwdriver. You may actually get some things done around the house. Now with a detachable VersaPack battery from Black & Decker.
During his coaching days at Seton Hall, P.J. Carlesimo didn't expect his teams to top the century mark with any regularity, but his expectations are a little higher during his first year with the Trailblazers. Coming into Sunday's game with Milwaukee, Portland had failed to score 100 points in their last 4 games, 3 of which resulted in losses. Terry Porter, Rod Strickland showing off their new watches. Bucks down 103-100, time running down. Vin Baker ties it up with 0.9 seconds to go. But 0.9 seconds to go, more than enough for Clyde the Glide. Calls the bank and nothing but the bottom of the net. The only game of the night, and it was worth the wait. Clyde the Glide puts a dagger in the Bucks' heart at the buzzer. He ends with 36. The Bucks lose their 7th straight game after starting the season 5-3. Drexler just misses the triple-double.
Doubtless somewhere in the back of Buddy Ryan's mind was the vision of coming home to the Astrodome, dropping Kevin Gilbride with 1 punch and then taking Jack Pardee's job away from him. Unfortunately for the ex-Oiler defensive coordinator, by the time he got back there with his deck of Arizona cards, Gilbride and Pardee were both gone, and his only foe, imagined or otherwise, was new Oiler boss Jeff Fisher. Houston trying to avoid going 1-12. Hello! Buddy comes home. But it's the Oiler D that strikes first. Jay Schrader rolls right and rolls into trouble. Chris Dishman, they're not gonna get him. Touchdown. 9-0 Oilers after 1. At halftime, come visit our Oiler petting zoo. Fourth quarter, 12-10. Houston, the old Redskins connection. Jay Schrader so thrown by the petting zoo. Gary Clark, the old Redskin connection. Schrader, the passer. 13-yard touchdown. Arizona 18-12. Oilers try to come back. But some more mediocre tacklers on that there Houston offense. Terry Hogue wends his way through 3/4 of the Houston team to seal it. Arizona wins 30-12. Fisher's 0-3, meaning the last 5 Oiler coaches went 0-21 in their first 21 games. On the other end of it, this is Zona's highest scoring total under Buddy. Technically, at least, they are still playoffly viable. Bucks and Skins in Tampa. Tampa's first possession inside the Redskins' 20-yard line, and Craig Erickson meet Andre Collins. And check this out. It begins to look like the football game scene from the movie MASH. He's turning around. He's looking at the guys chasing him. He's moving towards the center of the field. He hangs a quick left and then a quick right. Touchdown, 7-0 Washington. They're leading 21-20 in the fourth when Eric Reck breaks away, 192 yards, 40 carries, 25 of them there, setting up this. Erickson from 1 yard out. Sam White just happy, happy, joy, joy. 2 wins in a row. It's been so long, some of the Bucs players are afraid when they see a teammate spiking the ball. More interesting than the football numbers, the money numbers. Forbes magazine put out its list of the top 40 paid athletes in the world. 2 of the top 33 at this game. Heath Schuler, number 25 at $6.3 million. Trent Dilfer at 33rd at $5.5 million. Soccer's Roberto Baggio was 35th, Dan.
When Jim Everett was wearing a Rams uniform, L.A. couldn't beat the Saints in Anaheim, dropping 7 in a row. Everett hoped the trend would continue Sunday when he returned to Anaheim wearing a Saints uniform. Would this be the next to last home game in Los Angeles or the Los Angeles area for the Rams? It could be. Jim Everett to the rookie from Arizona State, Mario Bates, 26 yards for the score, capping a 99-yard drive. Everett again, Bates again. Touchdown again. 3 TDs for Bates, tying a team record. Everett out of the gun. Football term, looking for Michael Haynes. Second quarter, it's 21-7, make it 28-7. Saints go on to win it by the final. 31-15, Everett, 13-22, 161 yards in the touch. New Orleans turned 4 Rams fumbles into 21 first-half points. As I mentioned, this could be the Rams' next to last home game in Anaheim. ever, because rumored to be heading to St. Louis probably sooner than expected. Jerome Bettis held to 53 yards on 15 carries.
Also coming up, besides the Rams move, it's Sunday conversation time. His 12th year might be his best, but is a Super Bowl any closer from Miami Dan after this game?
I just enjoy playing. I love the game, and I love being around it. And I want to try to win a Super Bowl, and if that happens, great. If it doesn't, you know, that's something that you have to deal with.
Tim Conway's back, and he's hauling in a whopper. It's Dorf Goes Fishing, this year's funniest comedy home video. Let Tim Conway, as that master sportsman Dorf, show you everything you've always wanted to know about fishing. Go back in time to man's first fishing method. Let Dorf show you what to wear, how to clean your day's catch, how to get in shape, the joys of fishing with your spouse. Plus important boating and safety tips. Dorf Goes Fishing is guaranteed to be the funniest fishing video you've ever seen, and it's not available in stores. So what are you waiting for? Call and order Dorf Goes Fishing today. Call now and you'll get Dorf Goes Fishing plus this official Dorf floating keychain absolutely free.
For rush delivery, have your credit card ready and call 1-800-847-8700. The funniest, the most outrageous, Tim Conway at his very best. Dorf Goes Fishing. That's 1-800-847-8700 or send $19.95 plus $4 to the address on your screen.
Hey, Tommy, what does this watch stand for anyway?
It stands for Sunday Night Football on ESPN.
Oh, it's watch. Because I thought, I thought the W, if you switch around a couple of letters, and it works right out.
Join the watch program. Watch the Saints and the Falcons Sunday night.
I had it crooked, I think.
Sunday Conversation is brought to you by Sprint.
He has apparently been thwarted in his attempt to become a part owner of a baseball team. The Pittsburgh Pirates have been tentatively sold to a group other than the one he was in, so Dan Marino will have to settle for football. And in the Sunday Conversation, the man who may not be the greatest quarterback in the history of the game, but who may well end up being its most consistently good one, Dan Marino of the Miami Dolphins, with our Joe Theismann at the Sunday Conversation.
Marino takes the snap from center. He's looking. He throws. Touchdown, Dolphins. Mark Ingram caught it in the corner of the end zone in front of Eric Glenn. Unbelievable.
Tell us about the origin of the clock play.
Well, actually, Bernie had talked about doing it because they did it in Cleveland, and he talked about when they were going to have a chance to do it up there. They did it a couple times, and I actually did it against Minnesota this year, earlier in the year. It just didn't work, and really, it's just something we practice every now and then if we get a chance in the 2-minute drill in practice, and it's worked a couple times in practice. So we took a shot at it. It was perfect timing for it. There's only 20-some seconds left. It's first down. So I start calling clock play and faking like I'm going to throw the ball down. Everybody gets set, and then we just drop back and try to throw it. And hopefully, if you're lucky enough, you catch someone sleeping or you're able to hit a touchdown, and we did.
Mark talks about it. When he was asked about it, he said, you know, people said, did Danny say anything to you? He says, no, he just gave me the stare. Do me a favor. No. Give him the stare.
No, I'm just, you know, I just give him a look like that.
That's that quick?
That's it.
Because everybody talks about when Dan gets that stare, you got to be ready.
Yeah, really, I think he kind of anticipated the fact that we're going to do the play, and I, you know, kind of looked at him before we were running up to the ball, so I think he had a pretty good idea what was happening.
Sitting out last year, what did that do to you?
I think it made me appreciate the game a lot more. And I think I took things for granted to a certain extent as far as football was concerned. I mean, you know, I played 145 games in a row. I felt like I was never going to get hurt. Nothing was ever going to happen to me. And I was going to play my whole career and never miss a game. And then when that happens, you kind of feel a little vulnerable, and then you also appreciate what's going on the field and the things that you miss. You know, just being out there in a game like and winning the game like the Jets and the Jets game, and the feeling you get after that game and with your teammates and everything, you miss that kind of stuff. And so those are the things that I felt standing on the sideline.
How much longer do you want to play?
I think I'd like to play for another 4 or 5 years if I can. Yeah, it's more or less if your body, you know, holds up, because sometimes, you know, with my one knee the way it is and my Achilles, sometimes it's tough, you know, especially during the week in practice.
How would you describe your relationship with Coach Shula early in your career and now?
Really hasn't changed much, except for the fact that maybe, you know, I've been playing for so long for him, and we've had a lot of success together. I think, you know, he respects that as far as me as a player is concerned. I have tremendous respect for him for his ability to coach for so long, and the intensity he does and the work ethic and all that is something that's really incredible, something that people look at and just marvel because of you know, the things that he's done over his career. But early on, I think the best thing that he did for me was he put a lot of pressure on me to be successful early, and even in camp when I was a rookie, to learn the playbook by me calling all my own plays. It's something that you know, a lot of young guys don't do. And
do you do that now?
No, but I did it when I was a rookie. That's the funny thing. But you know, I think that helped from the learning the offense. He put a lot of pressure on me to do well early.
How important is the Super Bowl?
It's extremely important because, you know, that's what you're working for. I mean, that's why you go through camp and you do all this practice and all this hard work and in the off season and everything, is to have that opportunity to win a Super Bowl. And it's extremely important for me, but I've got to the point now where, you know, I can look at it and say, if I don't win one, I know that I've been working hard enough and I had a great career where you know, it's not going to be extremely disappointing, although it would be disappointing.
Sunday Conversation was brought to you by Sprint. We've got everything you need, local, long distance, and cellular.
Remember when Sprint's fiber optic network just meant a great phone call?
That was a pin?
Today you'll find that same Sprint clarity and high-speed data transmission. Worldwide video conferencing, voice-activated calling.
That was a pin?
And wireless communications. Only one company lets you be there with all this technology right now. So in case you were wondering...
Oh, a pin, dus toch al?
Yes, that was a pin.
This is the elegantly appointed front-wheel drive Acura Legend. And to connoisseurs of classic automotive art, this is the dinner bell that says, let the feast begin. The new 1995 Acura Luxury Lease, available exclusively at your Acura dealer.
Pros wear Russell Athletic because it's made tough. It has to be.
Hey, kid! Hey, you got my lucky jersey.
Yeah?
I got kind of carried away. Can I have it back?
You gotta be kidding.
Come here, you little pipsqueak. You don't bark back.
No!
You want athletic wear that can survive anything? Get Russell Athletic. Get tough.
Who was that kid? I don't know. Just sign him up.
Thursday, Villanova takes on North Carolina, only on ESPN.
They're the ones who ran away with it all. They have the inside line, the hardest hits, the perfect season. Now they get theirs on the Home Depot College Football Awards Show, Thursday at 9:30 on ESPN.
It needs no introduction, but I guess while I'm here, I might as well mention, here's today's best. Charlotte Smith, the steal and the jam, the first woman to dunk in a game since 1984. Heidi Zeller-Baylor won her second race in 2 weeks, capturing the World Giants Slalom over teammate Brenny Schneider. And finally, at the Apollo Theater in New York, you were asking about it, and we found it. The defending Double Dutch champs. That's the 4Ds, Keith. They recaptured their title with an amazing performance. Keith and I,
only 3 of them,
will do the same next.
Today's Best is brought to you by Nike, who encourages you to participate in the lives of America's youth.
You can tell a lot about a man by his shaver. The man who uses a bra and flex control appreciates good looks, has the flexibility to adjust to any situation, and he's not afraid to get close. But the most revealing thing about a man who uses a bra is how easy it is to spot him.
I believe this is yours.
Braun, the world's world's most recognized shave.
Still going. Long-lasting Energizer batteries keep going and going.
ESPN pay-per-view brings you the most popular sport in the world from the country that holds the World Cup. The Brazilian National Soccer Championship on pay-per-view. December 8th through 18th. Don't miss exclusive coverage of the semifinals and two-match final. For a limited time, you can order all 4 championship matches for one price. Call your cable company to order the Brazilian National Soccer Championship, exclusively on pay-per-view.
Do not, under penalty of defenestration, fail to watch Mike Tirico and NFL Prime Monday, 7:30 Eastern Time. The latest on the Rams, plus previewing the Monday night game.
Following the game soon on over, Keith and I will be here for post-game interviews. Thanks for joining us. For Keith, I'm Dan. See ya.